How are you? How are you?
I'm well, a little frustrated with Facebook, but
I never did get to study on that. I looked it up last night and I didn't even do any research.
well, I'm going like Zoom. I tried to go live with Zoom. Like first we did the regular Facebook, and tried to link let me see, does that work? Oh, I look so dim.
I look real dark too.
I'm like, what's happening? Oh, that's bright. So it's already as low as I can get. Okay, that's cool. Do I want to be blue? I'll be this. So anyway,
Why am I so dark?
like nothing wants to work today. So we tried to do the regular Facebook.
Now I'm blind.
You're like, I don't know what's happening.
Okay, I'm sorry. So you tried it on Facebook?
Tried it on Facebook to go live, and it would let me click ad. At first, it wouldn't let me click ad for her. Then we figured out we would do it from a phone. Then we were able to click ad.
Mm-hmm.
Then it wouldn't connect to anyone. It wouldn't connect on the other side to anybody. So then we tried to do it via Zoom. Then when I went to go live via Zoom to Facebook, it said error broadcasting.
That's weird.
I couldn't do anything.
Did you uninstall it and reinstall it?
No, so I got that when I was at work.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got home, it was supposed to be the live. I just didn't expect for it to be so unfriendly,
Mm-hmm.
is the best way to say it. So unfriendly.
Yeah, I saw you went live like 4 times.
Yeah. But hi, Nancy. But I couldn't get her up there, and it was so we're gonna do next Thursday. I'm looking at all the options because the truth is I need to get it fixed. I mean, I have a lot of things that I have on my calendar that I'm wanting to do on my page, and the last thing I need is for this to be a hiccup, you know.
Right.
Definitely don't want a hiccup. And then I got to get an exterior camera for my computer.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have any sound, Rob? What happened, Nancy? Was he your crazy ass boss?
Did Rob hook up? Well, he can't hear, huh?
I haven't eaten, so I need to order food.
I ordered food earlier today, and it took an hour and a half to get here.
Oh my God.
And the restaurant's a mile down the road.
That's not cool.
I could have saved $15 and went and picked up myself.
Pretty much. I'm looking at all the things I should not want, but I do want. Let me see. How someone has a digital download and makes you pay for a digital download is beyond me.
I do.
Yeah, but it's not even your art. It's not even her art. So this is from the Manara Tarot. Right? So it's not her art or not this person's art. So I'm like, how are you going to charge someone $7 for something that's not even your art? When I can't see that.
Oh, I need to flip my camera.
Oh.
Because it was wrong. So I was seeing.
What happened?
I was seeing if you could read the words. Now it's right.
Oh my God. So what did you order for lunch?
I had a calzone with that spinach artichoke dip.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to order some papusas.
I wanted Indian food, but they don't open until 3 o'clock.
Ooh, Indian food sounds good too.
Chicken biryani.
Let me see. I know I have Indian, but it's 8 o'clock, you know. I don't know if they will deliver. Let me see. Dishes of India. Yeah, every place closes at like 9, so
They might deliver if you go ahead and put your order in.
maybe
Let me see.
a DT. I feel like I've had a DT and I did not like it. It messed up my stomach.
I like the biryani.
I like, yeah, Taj of India. That's who I think I'm gonna try. Taj of India. They're up the street. You can order from Grubhub.
That's what I'm saying. $15. Go get it yourself.
Yeah, but I can do papusas too, or paisanos and get a salad. Because I was wanting their dessert earlier. So many.
Just wanted some flavor, but I don't really like pizza. That's why I got the calzone, but I only ate half. Or half.
I'm not a pizza person. I'm all leaning back and relaxing. I'm like, I'm not really a pizza person.
I don't like all the red sauce.
I don't like,
And
I like
I don't like
pizza.
a lot of bread.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of bread. That's the problem. I don't like a lot of bread. What did that have? You know what? Nope. I'm gonna do. I can do paisanos. It'll be easier to get here.
Okay. Go ahead and order it, and then we'll go ahead and get started because I don't know what time Tanya's going to be back.
Yeah, no, let's talk. I was like, I know we talked about one subject, but I'm curious to know what she thinks about that too.
Uh-huh. So,
Munchie
I
cheese.
Munchie Cheez-Its, that's Nika. Her dog.
Hi, I know. I'm like munchie cheese. Munchie. Oh, I didn't even see the it's part.
Cheez-Its.
You guys can ask questions too, because I mean, you guys want to know stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to ask questions, that's fine. I have questions for you.
You have a question? Okay, I'm ready.
What do you think about, you know how we were talking about the like mini introductory videos? What about having a guest on?
I'm absolutely open to that.
Do you think that everybody else would be?
You mean for the Collegium or for this?
For the, yep, both. To have them on as I get one at a time. That way they
Oh
can
yeah,
where they come from and, you know, do the intro, but give us some content. Killing two birds, one stone.
I think so. Why not? And then we can post it to the Collegium, have people sign on, and then yeah.
Okay.
Because I mean, it would be nice to have the conversation with them, but it'd also be nice when we start doing the mini lessons on the page too.
Okay. I was just wondering.
I would love it, and I'm pretty sure everybody would be open for it.
Oh, I like that name, London.
Huh?
Nika's daughter, London, did it. Changed. And she did it on all of her things too. She come on YouTube the other night. It's Munchie Cheez-Its.
You know what? It's so funny because Nika's daughter is a clone of her.
Oh, really?
Absolute little personality-wise, I believe they're complete clones of each other.
A little
bit. Like, London can't stand this. I'm like, but Nika, you don't like it either. You don't like it either. So
it's are good though.
So many questions, but I know tonight we're gonna definitely talk about glamour. Because that's gonna be a fun topic. Because a lot of people don't know how glamour works and all the work that goes into doing glamour. But I also want Tonya to chime in on it because I know she must have also had experiences with glamour and vampires of a sort. But I actually have a question, like in the sense of just, well, I guess we could talk about it.
Okay.
Why do you think people have such a hard time letting go of toxic relationships?
A lot of it, I think, is self-worth. And yeah, self-worth, because why else would you stay? I mean, if you know that you're worth more than that and that you're capable of being on your own, you don't need someone to take care of you. You are a unique and individual person. You don't need someone else to complete you or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of it has to do with self-confidence. Other things, there are people who get trapped. They really don't. And it's because it goes back to self-confidence. They let this other person control the relationship, control the money. And so here they are, no money in an abusive relationship and have nowhere to go because they've isolated themselves from other people so that they could pretty much bow down to this one person.
The reason I asked this is because someone kind of snipped at me because I said, I feel like if you're in an abusive relationship, you should do your best to get out, right? Don't stay, don't conform. And they were like, sometimes leaving gets you killed faster than staying. And I remember running into this news article in which the woman did leave the guy and he really did come and kill her. It was in Virginia. He set the woman on fire at her job.
That happened here. It's been a few years ago, but he killed her, cut her up, and barbecued her on the balcony.
And I was like, what signs are missed? Or like, how long do you let it get there? Because I remember, I think one of the worst, and I know it's a weird topic for this panel, but it's just been on my mind. I remember.
Oh, because we deal a lot with relationships, so I think it's valid.
This woman had a son, and I have to say had, because like she was dating this guy, she broke up with him and came home, and the man had cut her son's head off and put it on a stake, a spike, because she left him.
Why did she? Why? My first question is, if she left him, why did she leave her son?
She didn't leave her son there. He came and got her son from school.
Oh, that's fucked up.
So the weird part is, right, when does it get to that point? Like, is it something, because, of course, when you're learning about it and you're listening to stories, it's something gradual.
Yeah, that's
and
right. That doesn't automatic. You don't just automatically get into a relationship and it start off that way. I wouldn't think.
Sometimes they have.
But why would you get in a relationship then?
Because certain people are in that situation at home, and so it seems normal.
I guess.
It seems normal. But I think also, like, maybe not to that extreme of the fear and getting killed, but like also just being in toxic relationships.
Yeah, that
We see often when we're doing readings, people who are not wanting to leave because they're scared to be alone. And being alone does not mean lonely.
I'm not lonely.
Right.
And
And
I honestly could give a shit less about a relationship right now. I've got other stuff to do. I'm doing me. It's my time.
somehow I feel like mothers are able to easily jump into that role of it's me and my time, like women who have children, because they're like, we are so tired of being bothered.
I don't think that's what did it for me, though, to be I think that because I just got tired of the drama. I did. Like I was saying, I was so beautiful in high school, and then now all these guys come back and, oh, I had the biggest crush on you. I loved you, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And, you know, you can only get cheated on so many times or all this other bullshit that you say, you know what? And it's not. And you know how, and I'm not a vampire, but the only example I can think of is the Vampire Diaries. You know how they cut off their humanity?
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like that. It was almost like a switch. And I just shut it off. And I just have no desire. I mean, you know, I know what $2 for if I need it, and it doesn't argue with me.
Hey.
Tanya.
Hey, how's Yoda?
Not good.
I'm
Not
sorry.
good. Yeah. Kidney problems. So they're keeping them in for about 3 or 4 days. They're putting them on heavy IVs and antibiotics, and they're praying that it's not kidney damage. And then of course they're still thinking that he may need the surgery. So today was about $800 just to leave him.
Oh,
And I have to wait for them to see if the meds and stuff are gonna take. If not, then we got to figure out what we're gonna do with it. You know, what direction we're gonna go. So it's just been a bad day. It's been a bad
Sorry.
day. It's been a bad goddamn year.
yeah.
Are you sure you want to be here? Are you okay to be here?
I mean, I am, and I committed to it, and I think, you know, I thought y'all had already started though.
We did. What we were talking about,
Sex
why
and
people don't leave toxic relationships. But I was waiting for you to get here because I wanted to talk about glamour. Because I watched somebody's glamour fall. And I thought it was right.
Oh, thank you, Nancy. I appreciate it, babe. You know, it's gonna be okay. So somebody's glamour fell.
Like, you know how when you have people that use glamour, we all know
Yeah.
someone that has used glamour, surely. It could be, I mean, like Nika said, to spell their products, like to put glamour on their products. But most of the time, people who put glamour on their products also use glamour themselves on their, you know, outward appearance.
Well, I mean, that would make sense if you were a business person and you were trying to sell your products. I mean, I know a lot of witches and workers that definitely do that because people like see them and they're like, oh, this person is wonderful and beautiful. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all looking at? Because evidently it didn't glamour me because I can see inner ugliness. Inner ugliness
Exactly.
is
That's
period.
what we're talking about.
Yes, I don't care what spell work, conjure work, whatever you do, you cannot hide that demon. You can't. Not from somebody who's sensitive.
But see, and that's what I was telling, I was talking to Jazz earlier today. I said, how you break a person's glamour. Like if you're around someone, they're like, oh, they're great, they're great, they're great all the time, right? But you're like, something seems a little off. You break it down, you break down the compartments of that person because you have to see like what is it that's bugging you. And as you, especially like you said, if you're sensitive, because you're like something's,
Mhm.
and you can't help it because it's niggling in the back of your head, right? You're just like, am I crazy? Because first you have to question yourself, am I crazy?
Well, that too, or ego, because sometimes I'll be like, okay, and I'm not really ego driven. So for me to feel a certain way, sometimes I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Am I hating on this person?
Right.
Or is it because I'm seeing something different?
I know we've had the conversation where I've like come to you and been like, am I crazy? Like, I don't think I'm jealous, but maybe I'm jealous. Am I jealous and don't know I'm jealous? But I feel like something's a little off. But I always question myself first. But, and I sent Nika the picture too, but I actually watched someone's glamour fall. Like, their picture's gorgeous everywhere. And then there's this one picture where I'm like, you don't even look like you. You look 80 years older. What just happened? And so people are like, maybe it's the angle. Because now when I see the pictures, I see that.
In all
And all of them. And I'm just like,
You can't unsee what you see. And I know Beehive, please, please, Beehive, don't come for me. I ain't got no problem with your queen. Beehive.
You about to
Let me
get
just
caught.
put that out there. I like her music. I think she's a fantastic entertainer. But if y'all come for me, y'all come for me. But there have been pictures, and I remember there was a documentary, and it must have been about 3 or 4 years ago. Beyonce had some very unflattering pictures of her in concert. Now, you know, she's sweating. You're going to catch people in that,
Like, ooh, yeah, because she's like, I know that face.
Yes. If you have seen my earlier YouTubes, before I figured out how to use thumbnails, I mean, literally, I was like, I looked like I was possessed in half of my picture. So you can catch a person in a bad picture. But in the documentary, the guy saw like a face imposed over a face. And he did the picture and he put it side by side, and I kept going, that's not editing, y'all. That's not editing. There was something that was there. Now, whether this is, what is her alter ego,
Sasha Fierce.
I don't know if there was a Beyonce, a Sasha, and then there was something else. But there was like different faces that were imposed over a face. And I kept thinking too, something dropped for a second before she picked it back up. So is that kind of like the glamour falling?
A glamour fell.
Ah, okay.
Because you can see it. But sometimes that's attachments coming out. But either way, even if it's an attachment, you glamour so nobody can see the attachment. Attachment will glamour itself so that you can't see it. But something falls.
I've seen, that's what I was saying. That's what I seen in my own picture. You remember I was telling you that sometimes in some of my pictures, it looks like a blur. But
yeah.
It looks like a blur over me.
Now, do you do glamour magic?
I don't know anything about it, to be honest. I'm here to learn. I was going to research it, but I just didn't. I've been doing other stuff all day.
I don't do glamour magic. What I've discovered is there's some people who are really good with glamour magic, but usually if you have some people who don't have to use glamour magic because their inside is so strong and beautiful that it just exudes from the outside, period.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, exactly. So exudes from the outside, period, right? But then you have some people who are trying to hide things. And they have a lot of negativity, so then they glamour. But a lot of those people that are able to glamour perfectly, like it's just difficult to catch. They're usually energy or psychic vampires. So they'll take the energy from other people that they get and transmute that energy and use it themselves.
I believe my ex was a psychic vampire.
I mean, and it was interesting because I met a psychic vampire man, and he used glamour. And he would have, Tanya is she's gonna come back in. He would have men that looked like they stepped off of magazine pages. And he looked like a treasure troll. No lie. He wore leather all the time. He looked like a straight YMCA reject treasure troll. And I can say that without feeling bad because he was also a psychic vampire. And he was like, I'm a psychic vampire. And so he would walk in and he would take the energy from people, and you can feel him taking the energy from people. And they would be like, oh my God, you're so cute. Oh my God, you're so this, you're so funny. And he would take it and transmute it. And he openly admitted that's what he was doing.
He's extra.
But his bills were paid. He did try to kill his husband and then got away with it. But now, it was crazy. Crazy stuff. But he was able to utilize glamour to the nth degree. Just sitting in a room and taking the energy off of people.
There was somebody else that was doing that. Oh, we lost Rob. I can't remember who it was. Okay.
Hey.
It says she's still connecting. There you go.
I don't know what happened, you guys. I'm like, what the hell? I was getting all into it, and then it was like everything went black. I'm like, shit.
No, I told them. I mean, I don't know if you heard, but I was telling them about a guy. I met a male witch, psychic energy vampire who used glamour, and he looked like a YMC reject treasure troll. But his boyfriends looked like GQ models, and his bills were all paid. And he openly admitted he would go to public places and he would take the energy off of people and transmute it, and they would all flock to him. And I was like, no way. But I sat there and watched it.
Interesting. It makes you wonder, though, how many people utilize this that are celebrities, and then also two serial killers that may practice arts, because you hear the same story where people felt like this person looked charming, they looked nice, but they didn't see the inside, they didn't see the evil or the ugliness of this person. So it kind of makes you wonder if people are kind of if they discover that they can do it, what all they would use it for.
I think people probably do discover they can do it, but then there are some people who naturally just come off as charming, and you can't help but be drawn to them. And they could not be attractive people. It's just something in their personality. So it's weird because you have to, I think I pay more attention to it when someone's like, we're a practitioner, than I do if it's Joe Schmo at the gym. And I don't know why, because I'm not going to really deal with Joe Schmo at the gym. You know, I don't have to see Joe Schmo at the gym at all ever again if I don't want to. But to see it in action and to see it fall is a very interesting thing.
Now, do I know the person that the glamour fell? Okay.
No.
Because I'm trying to see. I mean, you know, I know a handful of people that literally, I'm like you, but they're practitioners. So it makes me wonder, you know, if they do it, because I've seen people like, you know, they're the best thing since sliced bread. And then I'm kind of like, no, they're not. But then it's one of those things where it's like, okay, maybe, you know, they're seeing something I don't see. So I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Let's see. M. Rain uses it, but I feel like it's not up all the time. Interesting.
Who's M. Rain?
She owns Magical Mystic, and she's actually, Tonya knows M. Rain, because I talked to you about M. Rain before.
Yeah, I remember discussing or talking about, but I don't think I've ever really followed this person.
Well, I know she's definitely big in the spiritual community. I mean, she has her own store in Louisiana. She's magic. I think she's Magic Mystic, but she's the one. Remember we were talking about like her internship or her apprenticeship is like $12,000 or something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah, that person. Yeah, I remember you, and I kept thinking, why would these people spend that kind of money on that? But you know, it makes you wonder too, when you do see practitioners, and I'm not going to say that they're not talented or sensitive, because I mean, honestly, if I was going to use it, I would use it to promote my products or my business.
Right.
But it makes me wonder sometimes when I see things like that, and I'm like, okay, how are they getting these people to pay this outrageous amount of money?
Last night. Do you think that one last night was using it?
Oh no, we don't know what was that. I have no idea what that was. You could tag me in this thing with this girl with the wheel.
And people,
I didn't even see it. I haven't really been on Facebook like that. So what was this about?
Left and right, and all she was doing was spinning the wheel.
Spinning the wheel, listening to crazy music. But like she had like 300 followers. Like 300 people on her live.
On the live. And it was like,
And all she was like, and you had to pay $15 to get the wheel spun.
Okay, did the wheel tell you something?
Like you could win a shout out, you could win a free reading, you could win a t-shirt. But a lot of people were just winning shout outs.
CashApp, but you had to pay 15 to get a spin on the wheel.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and look at this. I have
You
no
have to
idea
ask Nika
what
to
I'm talking
tag you in
about.
it because I never heard of this woman, and
Nika tagged me. I have never even heard of this. I haven't. I'm trying to even picture it.
yeah, she had a wheel. She's like, you get a shout out, but you don't get to say when your shout out is, but I'm giving you a shout out for $15.
And she had some white powdery substance on her.
Yeah, she was like, I was sitting there looking at the wheel, and Lynna's like, what's the white powdery substance by her head? I was like, Lynna, nobody saw that white powdery substance.
I have so many questions and I don't even know if they're appropriate. I'm like, what?
But people were sending her money.
Yeah, they paid $15 to get a spin on the wheel.
Ah, for a vague reading. Nika's saying for a vague reading. That's interesting. Tag me so I could see this. I don't deal with a lot of people in the spiritual community because some of it is literally fuckery. You know, I think because if the more that you're open, and the more your third eye, your spiritual eye is, you immediately, you kind of click to things that just don't make sense. And to me, I'm an air sign. If it doesn't make sense or there's no logic behind it, I have a hard time getting into it. Even though I am a spiritual person and I'm a reader and I know that there's things out there that I don't understand, but sometimes we got to call it what it is. Fuckery is fuckery.
It is. Sometimes fuckery is fuckery. And I'm an air sign as well, so I can get into fuckery to an extent. I feel like as I get older as an air sign, my brain's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, and it starts thinking, I'm like, wait, huh?
Last night.
That's what's going to happen. That's exactly what you can only throw glitter on something so much and be like, oh, okay. And then after a point, you start looking for the how, the what, the whys.
Mm-hmm.
I think, go ahead, sweet.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's interesting. I've never seen anything with a wheel. I've seen a lot of different people that have used certain forms of divination or either the platform. And I know it's almost like a trance because like you say, they have like major followers. And you'll be like, okay, maybe I'm not getting it. You know, maybe I'm not clicking with it. So I never really thought about glamour magic though.
I think, you know, it's definitely an art to it. Because if you're trying to use it and you're not good at it, then you come off as an asshole and creepy and sleazy. So you need to practice a bit. I mean, I know, I'm like, darn, this is recorded. People will be looking at this on YouTube. And I'm like, I'm just putting out people's names. There's a person on YouTube. I'm going to leave it at that. And if you guys want to know, you can inbox me. There's a person on YouTube that uses glamour. Major glamour. And she has a group to help women get sugar daddies. Like, but they also have to alter themselves, but also teach them how to use glamour.
I remember you were telling me about this person.
And the thing is, this person is also a vampire, and she openly admits it. She's like, you can send back whatever you want. I'll curse you, you can send it back, and I'm going to transmute that energy for my better.
Well, at least she's honest about it.
She's honest about it. You can't hate somebody when they're honest about it, right? You'd be like, well, damn, you know. But often, like, you see people, they will send her anything she wants. She's like, it's my birthday. I feel like people should send me gifts. And they're like, we sent you stuff off your list. Oh my God, okay, we'll send you anything. Like, it's like a cult following almost.
Yeah.
Because they just desire her approval and appreciation. And it's just interesting because am I hating? No, I just think it's interesting. And I think that's a thing. Like, I have to check myself. I'm like, am I hating on this, or am I just curious about this because I'm seeing things differently? And I think that's a weird thing too, because you're like, and I often fall into that line of like, am I doing something wrong, or am I just seeing it differently? But now I've come to the conclusion that as you say, when you're sensitive and you see things, you can't help but be like,
I think it's one of those things where I can look at it and appreciate it for a practice or a form of magic. But I think when you have different ethics of how you would use it and what you feel like it would be used for, then that's probably where it kind of goes a little wonky for me. Because I mean, I don't want, like, I'll have people on there and they're like, you know, I wanted to cash app you this, or I wanted to send you something for your birthday, or I wanted to do this for you. And I'm like, look, girl, you got bills, you got stuff. You know, as a healer, as a priestess, I realize that, you know, some people are in a position to I don't want to be worshipped. You know,
right.
I think you have to be very personally, because I'm not going to say for everybody, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but ethically, I would not feel right with my spirits if I was manipulating people to follow me. Let's see, thousands of people will fall for something and then don't. Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't feel right manipulating people into following me or worshiping me to that level.
It's creepy.
It is creepy. It is creepy. Now, I completely free will. If you have people that you want to do that with, I'm not going to knock it. I'm really not going to knock it. I'm just saying for me personally, I don't. I always feel like if people do too much for me, they expect something from me. Now, if you're glamoring people, and that's the whole point of I want the business, I want the attention, I want the gifts, then you're already going into it knowing that that's your practice, that's your spell. That's what you're expecting from it.
Yeah.
Knocking on homeless door year after year, her followers basically paid for her to move. Wow. She utilized her gift, Nika. She utilized her gift to put her in a position. But then it's almost like how do you rectify and balance that where, say, you did glamour to build up your business, but now you're kind of abusing it because you're manipulating people to continue taking care of you. I don't know. This is really interesting. It really, because I mean, I've seen it. I've never done it. And I think it would be interesting to see how far you could go with it.
I think you can go pretty far with it. I mean, for sure. I'm up here. I'm ordering food. I'm like, I'm so hungry.
Girl, no, do what you got to do. If you could get a man to pay for you and be your sugar daddy because based off of an imaginary look, then the women are getting their benefit. If that's what she's doing to them and teaching them how to do that, then they're getting their benefit out of it.
Right.
But I would be worried that one day this mofo gonna roll over in this bed and look at me and see me for who I really am and may not like that. And then what is that, the end of the journey? Because I mean, I'm assuming that with any like magic, it takes energy. It takes a lot to keep it up, right?
I think. Oh, you did not kick. What? This is my cart is empty. Okay, wait, there it is. That's the thing is people think, okay, we're gonna do. You know, you don't have to do glamour every once in a while, but glamour is a repetitive thing. It is a repetitive thing, and it takes a lot of energy, which is why a lot of people who are really successful at it are very good energy and psychic vampires because they take the energy off of everyone else and
You
don't
gotta draw
have
it back
to.
in it.
Right, and they don't have to use as much of their own energy.
Well, you know what? I guess honestly, that's a way to do it. Because I would be thinking, man, I don't have the energy to keep that up. But yeah, if you were doing it off of people in Haiti, and I'm pretty sure in a lot of practices, they have this thing where people can steal your luck. And I know Marcus even talked about it at some point where you could literally you can steal somebody's luck, like literally you know, make their life shitty to make your life better. So you have different vampires that go after different things for sure that are able to pull that off of people. And I guess, you know, that's between you and your spirits, you and your God, your goddess, or your deity, or whoever you work with. I think the fall from grace would be really harsh at some point to me. It would just be, I don't know if the payout would even be worth it.
I think.
Go ahead, babe.
I think, you know, it depends on how you use it. Like, let's say he just so happened to be the rare form of practitioner that uses the glamour for something good to help other people. well, eventually you're still not being yourself completely. So it still will fall.
Yeah.
Unless you once again are gonna cross over that line when you have to, you know, recharge it and take the energy from other people. But it's a very good skill to have. I can't say it's not, because it is. It's
No,
just
yeah,
a
it would be
very
a really
difficult
good
skill to attain to the maximum, to the nth degree, so to say.
But I think a lot of people probably have mastered it, because I've seen some people, like I said, that people in the community love them, absolutely love them. And I'm like, if they only knew. But then, you know, it's like, okay, stay in your lane. You know, this is working for them. People are following them. It really has nothing to do with me. It irks me sometimes, because I'm like, can't you see? It's like, what was it? It was a documentary. And I posted it on my page. I think it was last year. This man woke up one day and he could see people for who they really were. Like, he would walk down the street and he could see demons. He could see attachments. And it literally almost put him in an insane asylum. But he was like, it didn't matter how much makeup this woman had on. I could see her face melting and what was underneath. And I kept going, oh, that would be like horrible to be put
That
in that.
sounds horrible.
Yeah, to be put in that position on that's what you see. But I mean, I could get it. I mean, Instagram had that filter, and I put that filter on, and I was like, oh my God, I got gray eyes. I got this going on. I got stars floating around my head. This shit is hot. This is
That
what's
would,
happening.
ooh, no.
But I couldn't do it because I felt like it's not authentic. You know, it's not, it wouldn't be me. And that's what made me really not even be turned on to it. So I don't know. I guess it depends on the person. But for me, I wouldn't feel right. I built so much energy into being who I am. I think I want people to see that. The good, the bad, the ugly, the flaws, and all that.
Right.
So
And
I
you
don't know.
should.
Rob put something up there about shapeshifters, and if it was the same thing as like doing this glamour magic, like being able to shift your look.
Shapeshifters are already usually spirits. I mean, they're already gone.
Mm-hmm.
Shapeshifter, there's many legends, but from what I understand, shapeshifter is a medicine man that went to the dark side from the Indian spirituality. Or no, that's a skinwalker. Skinwalker. A shapeshifter. Is it the same thing as glamour?
No.
No, it's not.
When I learned about shape-shifting, it was, well, the way that I was taught was about taking on the personalities of different animals,
Mm-hmm.
becoming that animal, acting like that animal, being that animal, so that you could connect better with that animal. Say, like, if you know what your totem is, and so you take on that personality, and you be that turtle, or you be that badger, or you be that wolf, or whatever,
Right.
or you be that raven, and you can fly, and it's more like a meditative state of mind, but you become that, this the spirit of that animal is inside of you, and you become that animal or that being, whatever.
Well, it sounds like with shape-shifting, you're merging with the attributes of the animal or whatever you're shifting into. With glamour, it sounds like you're creating
A false,
attributes
a false.
or the visual of what you want people to see.
Yep.
Okay. It's interesting. I don't know. You know, I've had some boyfriends where people were like, Tonya, they are butt ass ugly. And they were the most beautiful people to me. They
But
literally were.
you were looking with your heart.
I think maybe so. I think maybe so. But I think looking into their heart made the physical appearance to me beautiful, because I did not see them as unattractive. But I remember having friends that were like, are you serious? Do you not see this man's nose? And I was like, what the fuck? He's beautiful. It's beautiful. And that's what I saw. Even to this day. And Lynna, I don't know if you met Brian in Jamaica. The Jamaican Brian. Did you ever get a chance to meet him or see him? Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So many people were like, he's so unattractive. He was he's 6'7", with, I mean, probably 150 pounds. So my sister used to call him Skeletor. And they would be like, yeah, he's so unattractive. And he was really beautiful to me. Midnight blue black, and just as beautiful as I don't know what.
But you know, that's his insides coming out, because he's a good person. He's
a beautiful person. So you're right. I guess literally he never has a shortage of women. He never has, because they all see him as beautiful. So I think he's born with a glamour.
But it can go the opposite way too, because you can meet somebody who is a beautiful or looks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have met some of the most beautiful women that I think I have seen just in passing. Or they're Facebook friends, and then you meet them in person, and you're like, oh Lord, you know, it's just, it don't match. Right? It does not match, and it's almost like you expect it to.
I mean, I think sometimes, and it sounds weird, sometimes I feel like it's a chain effect. Like, you know, you were able to be like, I find this person attractive. It is what it is. But some people will be like, even though they may find him attractive, they'd be like, oh, yeah, you're right. Because they would go by what other people were saying. Sometimes I feel it could be the same way with like people who everybody's like, oh, they're so beautiful. And you're like, for me, it's like, everyone thinks Idris Elba's hot. And I'm not saying he's not attractive. But Idris Elba does not make me want to run around the moon.
Girl.
But he's attractive.
People used to like Brad Pitt too. But every time I heard the name or looked at him, all I could see was he must have had some bad acne as a kid, because he's got
Okay, y'all are talking about both my husbands right now. I feel very attacked, because I was like, if I'm gonna go over to the Snow Bunny, it's gonna be Brad Pitt, and Idris could get it. So y'all are talking about both. That's what I see. I see beauty.
I like Chris Evans, but that's because like I think Chris Evans looks. But I actually like Keanu Reeves, but I like Keanu Reeves because of his personality.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you who I like. Shamar Moore.
You could have Shamar Moore.
Yeah, Shamar he's handsome, but there's something off with that.
He's conceited.
Yeah, but there's still something else going on that ain't right with that. But he is an attractive man. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. I remember you saying that before too. That you thought maybe.
Look, and Nancy, I was trying not to say the man was gay, but that's the vibe that I get. I know he's around a lot of women, but there's something off with the sexuality for me. But that's still, it doesn't take away that he's a beautiful guy.
Right.
I have seen him in interviews where he's been very genuine and very kind-hearted, and then I've seen him in other interviews where he's been very ego-driven and very conceited. And I don't feel like people get the authentic him, but he's a celebrity. But I think you can see past some of that. You really can.
I think Shamar Moore is attractive. For me, it's his teeth. I'm a teeth girl. And I'm like, you got all that money and didn't fix those teeth.
Girl, that's my pet peeve with celebrities. I'm like, there's no fucking way you can be a millionaire and still have 3 teeth growing over 1 tooth. That you just can't. You just can't. Because that'd be the first thing. I ain't gonna even lie. If I hit money like that, my teeth would be laid.
Exactly.
But, I mean, it's one of those things. Nancy said, I thought he fixed them. I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't, so I don't even know.
If he fixed them, it would make me so happy.
So
it would make me happy.
It sounds like when you talk about glamour magic, that you see it more in a community with women, with females.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to start paying attention. I really am. I mean, there are. I have beautiful friends anyway. You and Lynna both are beautiful, but I have literally when I look at my Facebook page, even like Nancy, Nika, even with natural beauty, women that don't really wear a lot of makeup, that literally, you know, can post a picture, and it's because too there's just a light to them. Nika always looked mischievous to me.
She is so mischievous.
But that's
It's not that she looks it, she's
sexy.
mischievous.
It's something about her smirk and her eyes that make it look like I'm gonna tear your ass up behind closed doors, and I'm like, that's sexy. So that really makes me it makes me attracted to her because of that.
You know, Elisa always looks so innocent.
Yeah, she does. She does.
Oh, Alyssa?
Yes, with them puppy eyes.
She got all y'all fooled.
Oh, we know it.
I'm not
We know it.
looks innocent.
To me, who looks innocent is Nancy. With the accent too. She like, she, baby. Let me tell you, and I'm just like, I can't help it. You would like, when you listen to her, it seems so innocent, and you'd be like, wait a minute now, what did you say?
But she has one of the most beautiful smiles though.
Oh, beautiful.
She just has a beautiful smile. So literally, I like to see when she posts pictures. I prefer when she's smiling because it just makes her whole face look lit to me.
And
So,
all the
I mean,
men
I
come
know that-
chasing her. She like, why these ugly men want me? Don't smile.
It's the
Stop smiling,
smile.
man.
It literally makes her look like she's glowing. So I mean, I notice a lot of the females on my feed that I feel like are beautiful in their own way. I always pick something out about a particular person that I like, that I'm drawn to, if it's in the physical. But I can't really say that I've seen too many people that I would feel like use glamour magic. I mean, there's a few that are like, they're evil. I know they're evil,
Mm-hmm.
but they look attractive in their pictures. And a lot of people follow them, and it's because they look like they're genuine. They look like it. So I'm gonna pay attention. I'm gonna make this a game now. I'm gonna have to look a little bit more.
We need to have cow night. Oh, Tanya, I'm totally going. You know, I'm having a moment, but what we need to have a sleepover, an online sleepover. We can all come in here and we can go all night and have an all night sleepover.
But she said you guys have matching pajamas, so I need to know where she got the pajamas. I want matching pajamas too.
The ones
We
with
do have matching pajamas. We do.
the pink pants. Mm-hmm.
If I keep eating the quarantine snacks, still I'm not gonna be able to fit in the matching pajamas. It's getting serious. It's getting serious over here.
You can hand yours down to me because I've been eating too.
Yeah, I can just hand my extra large downs, and I'm gonna have to go get me something else. But no, that's cool. You know, you always invited anytime you want to come over. Anytime.
I mean, have one online. We can invite me, Rob, and Nika, and we just have
So we'll just have everybody on in our pajamas.
And do a sleepover.
And have a slumber party, an online slumber party.
I'm gonna let y'all know I'm in bed by 10:55. I'm like,
you can leave your camera on and we'll laugh at you, and we'll get the Apple Pencil out and we'll draw.
Oh no! Oh no! Because you know, then you're gonna have a Snapchat of it. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want that.
Absolutely. Don't trust it. Don't trust it.
Yeah, it's fun.
It already sounds like it's off.
Lynna's gonna have me look like a freaking Van Gogh painting. Be like, whatever, or August Clint be like all messed up in colors and stuff.
Yeah, because she look innocent. She ain't innocent. She gonna do you dirty. She gonna do you dirty.
Look at have like pointing penises at me. I'd be like, thanks, Lynna. That's what I needed. The pointy penises at me. Thanks.
Oh my God. It sounds like it would be fun.
Big balls though. That way,
with big balls.
Big balls. So at least you'll be balling.
And but they're gonna be laying on my head because I can see you tilting it right there. She'll be like, the balls are resting on your head.
One across your eye. No, not really.
So messed
She's
up.
already plotting. She it's not good. It's not good. I'm telling you.
They won't.
No, that would be cool.
draw hairy balls. Okay.
Look, I can't draw hairy balls, man. I just can't. I mean, you might get a mustache out of me. Like a tattoo that's supposed to look like a flower and it doesn't look like a flower. I don't know. I mean, it'll be something though.
Draw on your picture. It don't work on the computer anyway. I'd have to do it on the iPad. But no.
Someone got struck by lightning by the lake near my house a few minutes ago. Did you laugh? Because I could hear Niga laughing for some reason. Oh, they got struck by lightning. I hear it. Are they okay?
Look, we all got quiet like we're gonna listen.
No,
like, are they okay?
Somebody got struck by lightning. It's like, what?
You know, it's horrible. I forgot what movie it was. I think it was Benjamin Button, wasn't it? They said that nobody can be struck by lightning more than once, and then I guess some guy in the movie got struck 3 times. They like sitting on the floor, and then like walking out, and like his leg just kept going up or something. Was it Benjamin Button?
Hell, Nika say, yeah, it's serious. I don't blame you. Nika, what is that lake? It's not where you're at. I think it's in Georgia, and I was reading up on it. Lake Lanier, where all these people, they have all these drownings, and it's because it's a whole city and a graveyard under the lake. So
What?
people, it's in Georgia. Oh yeah, that lake is cursed. Absolutely. What they did
people
was
go swimming and they die?
It's a man-made lake. What they did was they flooded a town, and they didn't move anything out of it. Well, they said that they moved some of the gravestones and all that stuff like that. That's debatable. But a lot of people that swim there, and I think it's in Georgia, will say that while they're swimming, they feel like something pulls them down, pulls on their legs and pulls them down. So they've had all these drownings at the lake, and it's packed. The lake, people go there like crazy. But when she was saying that, it made me think about that, because it was like the curse of the lake. There's something they say you can be on the shoreline and go in just a little bit and end up drowning. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
That sounds like one of those Friday 13th movies.
Hey,
Maybe we should go there for like ghost hunting.
you know what? Okay, I am not a good swimmer. I can swim, but I'm not a strong swimmer. I would prefer to stay on ground and have a running chance. I think I can run better than I can swim.
But we're not saying go in the water, but maybe we could see the activity around the water, though.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, really, I wonder if they got cabins and stuff out there. Because you got to think that if these people are being pulled down or drowned, there is. I mean, if you Google it, there's so many different stories of people that have seen apparitions, or, you know, they've been swimming and thought they saw people underneath the water that were looking at them. So it's probably a lot of activity there.
You know,
A lot of it.
you can see auras on water. That's one of the easiest auras is water.
Really?
Yes. And I would be interested to see the aura from afar. You know, I ain't trying to go.
I was like, wait, don't get me wrong, but from afar.
Lynna's gonna have the longest selfie stick.
Look, I got a GoPro. We can get a drone.
My cousin has a drone. I could be like, hey, come ghost hunting and use your drone.
Yeah, but you'd have to have that one with that, what's it called? Carillion or something like, or Carillion or.
Look,
You know,
my cousin has nothing to do. Like, he has that kind of money where he wakes up and he's like, I don't feel like being here. I'm going to Japan. He's probably got a good drone.
but
Man.
that Carillion photography is the one that does.
Catches the auras, can catch an aura.
Mhm.
Let's ask. Let's go do it.
I'm in. Now, I think Nika was saying that a lot of Black people don't go in the water. Well, first of all, a lot of Black people don't swim, or they're not very strong swimmers. So that would probably be the number one reason. She says she's always surprised when a Black person does drown there that gets in the water. I think Nika, I'm not familiar, but wasn't it a Black town that was flooded?
Oh, wow. I have to look this up. I ordered some papooses. I think I ate with my eyes.
It was a town that was predominantly Black.
Let me look this up.
And they turned it into a man-made lake.
If you don't mind, I have to look that up because I've
Town.
never heard of that.
Yeah, Lake Lanier. I think I was doing a reading for someone, and she was telling me about a friend that drowned there. And then I was looking at YouTube, and it came up in my feed. Somebody, of course, you know, they listening on your phone, so they put it in your feed. So I was like, okay, Lake Lanier, let me go ahead. And then I Googled it. But yeah, interesting
Mm.
too.
I don't like. I don't swim it.
I don't do lakes anyway. I don't do if I can't see something coming to eat me, I'm not getting in the water. If it's a shark, I want to see it coming. I'd rather see it coming. I don't want an alligator or something water moccasin sneaking up on me.
Oh, alligators are like ninjas.
Yeah.
I saw one at a zoo, and it come up right in the stream. I was like standing on the bridge that went over the stream, and the water never moved. And then all of a sudden, a head came up out of the water, and the thing was like swimming, but the water never moved. You know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about? Most of the time, when something's swimming, there'll be ripples. This one
Mm-hmm.
never moved. It
A
was
lot of people say that. A lot of people say you never know until it gets you.
it was a
What?
it was a ninja.
Alligators.
Oh,
The water don't move.
yeah.
Glide through the water don't move.
Because like it's only using like its tail.
Damn.
So whatever's moving is behind it usually. By the time it gets you, it's like,
Yeah. If I can't see my feet, I don't get in the water. I don't.
I did. I went tubing.
I saw that. I remember you
I mean,
went to
I want to do it again, but nature, you know, because we had COVID, nature has been overzealous. And so I'm pretty sure there's plenty of snakes out there, and I'm just not willing to risk it for the biscuit.
No, I mean here in Texas, I mean you can literally. What was it? Somebody was telling me about 2 weeks ago they were water skiing and it was a nest of snakes.
Moccasins.
Yeah, on the water, and she didn't see it until she got right up on it.
Oh,
And she said she was trying to wave to the guy so that he could make the boat go a different way, and she literally let go of the ski thing because he was gonna take her right next to it, and she was like, nah. So I told her, I said, girl, I think I would have held on for life and tried to do a jump.
no. Water moccasins, they get in that pit when it's mating season, and it's like literally a big black ball
Ooh,
in the water.
But
They get really aggressive. So if you're anywhere near them, you will die.
Oh, well, then she did the right thing. She said she saw it, she let go, and she started swimming the opposite way. I don't know if I would have let
they
go.
will. Because I'm surprised they didn't chase her. Moccasins will chase you during that time.
No, she said she literally let go and just started swimming, and they circled back around and picked her up. But I was like, oh no, no lakes,
Because
no
like
lakes.
it's not like 10, 15. There's usually 50 to 100 snakes in that ball.
Oh hell no.
Not for me.
So we can go to Lake Lanier, and I will be the person that stands on the shore with the device and a little light thing and be going like this, picking up a signal. Do y'all see something?
See, Nika was like, because we were talking, Nika, she's like, yeah, there are places here where the springs are real clear, but there are alligators there, though. I was like, I just don't want to die by nature.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, this year, like you say, nature literally is, I mean, everything is coming out.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's not that many people, so they're exploring a little bit more. So you're seeing more attacks. You're seeing more things that are happening because of that. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about it. But I'm all for ghost hunting. I really am. I think there's so much right now, especially with so many dead that are walking, that it would be a lot of activity. I mean, literally, just even sitting in my house sometimes, because Jazz is like, you have somebody in your room. There's somebody just hanging out in your room, and he does. I don't know why he stays in there. You know, I wish he would clean it, but all he does is just float by the window, float back by the window. I'm just like, do some laundry.
You see him too?
I see the shadow when I go down the hallway. I always see him out the corner of my eye.
Me see, I'm not crazy.
Well, I don't know.
She's so cute.
You're not crazy.
No, like Nika said, she needs to see better before you go ghost hunting. You'll see great when you go ghost hunting. You will see great. But we were talking about it, and we said, Alyssa, I was like, let's all go ghost hunting. And we said we'd have to drag Alyssa out the house if stuff started floating and started getting crazy, because she would be like, what's over there? We'd be like, oh God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think she would be afraid at all. I think it would be like a freaking, it'd just be a challenge to her.
Mm-hmm. I'd be like, Alyssa is throwing knives. We got to go.
Girl would know. When y'all go, hit me up on that. I want to go. I want to go see some stuff.
I want to go with, y'all before I leave. I'm like, but it's like a muscle, right? Because you're growing your mediumship gifts. So you have to put yourself out there to grow them. And so I came up with that. I was like, let's go ghost hunting. I will try not to run. I will do my best not to haul ass.
We will definitely, like you say, as long as they're not throwing knives, then we good.
I'm done with Nika.
Nika's like, I gotta lose weight. I'm like, you, Nika, we gotta be able to climb a wall. Like in 1.5.
Why would we be in a where you need to climb a wall though? Like, come on, think about it.
So Nika, this what we gonna do. The slower people, we gonna have Lisa. Lisa gonna be up there to hike us. She gonna put us over because I know she can get over the wall. The ones that need the help, we need to go over the wall first.
How do you know she can get over the wall?
I know she can get over the wall.
You're about the same height. You can get over the wall too.
Girl, I got a bad hip. I gotta place the hip and then oh, that's too much. In fact, I might just be the sacrificial lamb. I might just be like, you know what? Let them go. You got me.
Let me tell you, fear does not allow for sacrificial lambs. I mean, when you get fear in you, I was in the mall. I was dead tired. It was like Halloween. I hadn't slept in 2 days. My feet were hurting like I was hobbling. I was like, oh, because I had these cute boots on. Something made a noise. I was like, all you heard was the click of the heels. And my friend was like, where are you going? I was like, at the back, running like this. I was like, I don't think so.
I would have paid money.
Fear will help you.
I would have paid money to see that.
She was laughing. I turned around like when I'm back in the car and they're still in the spot where I was running from, and they're laughing. They're hunched over. They're like, man. And I mean, my friends always are like, you get some fear in you and you're just gone. They're like, we've never seen you move so fast in our lives.
Sometimes, I mean, really, you get that vibe and spirit is like, run. Take off. Some people be sitting up there talking about, well, wait a minute, let me, what's your name? What's it? No. No, you don't want me there. I'm not going to be there at all.
They're like, Amityville, get out. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. You ain't got to tell me twice. I listened very well as a child. I followed directions very, very well.
I think the interesting spot for me would be La Rue Mansion or La Rue Mansion.
Oh,
Louisiana.
La Lori.
Yeah. They said like everybody that buys that house, their life goes to shit in like 7 to 10 years or something, because Nicolas Cage bought it, and then it was bought from Nicolas Cage and it's owned in a private trust or something now. But the guy that owned it before, he had furniture and everything in there, and he said he would wake up and there would be feces and all sorts of shit over all his property.
And what is it? La Rouge?
No, La Rue Mansion.
La Lori.
La Lori Mansion in Louisiana. You know where she made like the slaves into science projects?
Yeah, like Frankenstein. She would take one body part, put it on another person in a place that it didn't necessarily need to go, and sew it onto them. And
she made the caterpillar man like he was alive and he was still breathing, but he couldn't move, so he looked like a caterpillar. He was like this. Oh yeah, La Lori.
Thank you, Rob. I'm gonna have to Google. I'm gonna read up on that. I haven't heard of that.
Do you remember Coven? Like American Horror Story Coven?
Yeah.
Kathy Bates played her.
Oh, that's right. She was in there cutting the slaves up and putting the head on the. Oh, okay. I never really looked into that, but I'm gonna read up on that tonight.
Yep, it's an interesting story because they were like, we don't know like if she actually died or if she came back. Like it was crazy.
And that's in New Orleans, right?
Mm-hmm. But you can't go in. They never let you in.
Huh. Well, I mean, is it gated?
No, but it's owned by a private trust, so nobody can go in. Like, I feel like they bought it because of like trying to prevent people from going in.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I'm like, if you, I mean, I think that would be, oh, the first female serial killer in New Orleans. But I
Thank
mean,
you.
I think it would be interesting, but I think there would be so much pain and fear, the
You feel
anger in
that,
that house.
yeah, you feel that a lot in New Orleans, though, just by driving past some of the plantation homes and things like that. You pick up a lot of unsettled energy there. So that would be interesting.
There was a lot
Mhm.
of that energy after Ike. Remember?
Yeah. They have a couple of plantations that have been known to be haunted, and some of them are hotels now, or
Mhm.
not Airbnbs, but
Bed and breakfast.
yes. Because I'll
And I
have
thought we should go to that too, because you can, you have to sign a waiver for some of them though.
no,
Sorry, Lynna, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, I wasn't saying anything.
no, that would be cool. That would be cool. I mean, I was looking forward to going to New Orleans and maybe trolling around some things and seeing what we could see or get into.
I
When are
think it
you
would be
when,
nice.
when are you taking off for good, babe?
December, mid-December.
Hmm.
God damn, Shishi, that's not enough time.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm sorry. I love you from afar.
Well, she'll be gone with Ali in December.
That's what I'm saying. I love you from afar. I'm not going anywhere though. Not this year. I have
I
no
mean,
travel plans this year.
travel plans were ruined definitely this year by COVID because I had plans to see you. I had plans to see so many people, and I'm like, well, nobody can go anywhere. But, and I know we're supposed to do a New Orleans trip. I'm not sure what's happening because their numbers, I guess, keep going up.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You just wait when they start school back up. Telling y'all.
not gonna be good.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to trek to Germany.
Nika said, Alyssa's athletic. She can get over the wall. And she, oh my God, we were laughing so hard. We were like, can you imagine? Because Nika won't go ghost hunting with us. We said she'll be on the camera trying to guide us through the house, and we'll be running. And because Nika's so sarcastic, she'll be like, I don't even know why y'all went in the house. I told y'all not to go, and we're
I can
running for our lives. And she'd be like, it doesn't seem like y'all running fast enough. We'd be like, Nika, you don't stop. We're about to die.
No, I can see it. I can see it. There's an episode on the Ghost Brothers, and it's three black guys, and they had a ghost hunting show, and in one of them, it was a haunted mortuary, and they were doing devil worship in there, and one of the guys was devout, like he was like, I'm about God. God told me not to go in, so I'm gonna sit out here and look at the camera and listen for things that are happening while y'all go in and do your thing. He sat out there and he was praying his ass off for them. Our Father, da, 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 da. He was like, please protect them. And he was like, I ain't going in. They were like, you sure you don't want it? He was like, no, I ain't going in. I'll stay out here. He go, I don't play with the devil shit. I don't do that. I don't do that. That'll be Nika.
That will be Nika.
Nika's like, nah, we ain't doing it. We ain't
Like,
doing
I
it.
hold space for you. I hold space for you.
Well, no, somebody got to be there at least to make sure, right? Somebody.
I said Jazz will already be in the car. She'll be the one pulling up to the door. Run, get in. Like, when did she leave?
The smallest one, and you're right, probably would be going quick. Wait, Rob said take some tar water. You ain't lying. Oh, trust me, if I go in, I'm gonna be loaded. I'm gonna be
for
loaded.
Sure.
We're gonna have everything on.
Bring the truck because the truck will hold more people. All y'all gotta do is jump in the back and we can go. We ain't even got to worry in no door. Get the hell out.
Sounds good. No, we need to do that. That would be great. I ain't gonna lie. It would be like a big ghost hunting adventure.
It would be fun.
It would. It would be fun.
Like, I know a few of my friends want to go to Gettysburg. And you can
Oh.
stay. You can stay overnight at Gettysburg on the land. I think in certain cases they'll let you stay overnight on the land. They said
They
you can
have
see
a
the
lot of
ghost walking by.
activity.
Hmm.
Yeah, you see, they have footage where you'll see soldiers that are walking by, you know, they look at people. I mean, it's crazy, but that would be cool.
But then I think, you know, it seems cool, but I can also see me being like the one, you know what, just leave the tent. I don't really need it. It's okay. I gotta go. You're like,
That is so freaking true. Oh my
like, I gotta
God.
buy a new tent.
Just in case you have any attachments, like, look, we just gonna leave all that here, let you have it. You can have it.
Like, you know what? No, look, I was too worldly. It's true. I need to be simpler. You can have all of that except my wallet, but I gotta go. So I can get up out this town.
But I had a client, I think it was about 5 years ago, and she went, oh God, it was some famous cemetery. And she brought candy and she asked the kids if they wanted to follow her home, if they wanted to come home with her. And I was listening to the story while I'm doing her massage, and I'm kind of looking around the room. Look at me. Like, you asked the kids, you gave them candy and asked them if they wanted to follow you home. And she was like, yeah, because I was opening my mediumship and I just wanted to hang out with the kids. And I was like, oh, okay. And we finished the massage, and of course she's telling me the story about when they got home, the cabinets were opening and closing. Somebody kept shutting the cat up in the laundry room, and her husband couldn't figure it out. So we go out, and I'm talking to her husband, and I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, she told me about, you know, the little kids or whatever. He says, Tonya, he said, I was going to divorce that bitch. I was going to divorce her. He said it took us 6 months. We had a priest, we had a rabbi, and a shaman come to the house to get rid of these things that she had brought home. And he said, I had filed for divorce papers. He said, I didn't sign up for this. And she thought it was cute. She thought it was cute. And I was like, Mabel, you can't do that. You don't just do that. And she was like, well, they came home and they were nice to me. And I was like,
you almost were husbandless. They were almost the only thing you had.
Girl, well, they did divorce. That was, I mean, they divorced a couple of years ago. He stayed married to her about 2 more years. And I think she did some more stuff. And he was like, I'm out. I didn't sign up for it. He was like, I'm out. But yeah, he was like, nope. He said it took them a while to get rid of all that activity that she brought home. And I can imagine about 5 or 6, like literally just coming in.
That's crazy.
You know, and hanging out.
I would be mad. I would be really mad at my partner too. I can't do those things. I do know this because Ollie's not about that life. He'll be like, you know what? You can take him. I'm keeping the house, but you can take him wherever you're moving. But it's not going to be here in this house.
I don't blame him. I think if you are going to do something like that, you need to be on the same page as your partner. Mm-hmm. Even if you're evoking in the house and you know that you're doing certain rituals, I mean, even if your partner doesn't understand it, I think you should be like, okay, well, you know, this is kind of what I'm doing. This is the plan. Because either you got to get them acclimated to that. Because mm-hmm. we know as diviners, you're going to have spirits that come through. I've done lives where people will the spirits will linger, like they won't leave for a little bit. You know, they want to hang out. They like the energy or whatever. In a couple of days, the energy is clear. So mm-hmm. anybody who comes over or anybody that I would get involved with, you know, it'd be like, yeah, let me kind of tell you about what's going on, you know. But just bringing stuff randomly, picking up attachments, nah.
But see, ghosts follow Ollie. So I'm more like, he can't blame me, it's him.
Well, I mean, they're definitely attracted. There's attachment. So, I mean, and he is gifted. So it would make sense. But he could also do things too to not let them cross over his threshold, you know, into his personal space. If that's
he doesn't know that yet.
You gotta teach.
He doesn't believe he's gifted. So.
Well, I told him he was, so he better believe it. He better believe it.
Chad was like, when is he going to start practicing? I was like, he didn't believe it. So, but he hears them. He's like, you can't believe what happened to me today. And then he explains it, and I'm just like, well, that's your gift. He's like, no, I don't know why that happened, but I'm like,
The crazy
Okay.
thing is that when y'all get together, you're gonna boost him a lot. You're gonna boost him, and things are gonna open up for him majorly.
I feel like it might be him boosting me too, because I like when I was with him, I was like, why are all these ghosts here? What is going on with you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But he
Sometimes,
won't go ghost hunting. He'll be like, I mean, I don't think he will. I haven't asked him. He might be like, yeah, no.
but maybe I don't know. I think he could grow into it. To be honest, I think he could.
He might leave me behind. He'd be like, look, I loved you for so long, but that knife that was thrown, it was one for the, He's like, it was not the musketeer like mindset here. He was like, it was me for me.
He'd be like my client, like, look, I almost divorced that bitch. It was too much. I almost left her. It was too much. Hey, you never know. You never know until you get into it. I think he would honestly be good because you're going to be a very powerful couple. So it'll be interesting to see how you two grow.
He will haul ass. Y'all don't know.
Just send me the video so I can laugh.
No, you need to ask him. You need to ask him about not being able to see the bottom of water. You need to ask him about that, and then you will just die.
Not being able to see the bottom of water?
So you know how you don't like water that you can't see the bottom of? And he was picking on me. He was like, oh, look at the city girl, scared to go in the water. Oh, when I was going tubing. And so then I sent him a picture of it. He's like, you can't see the water. And I was like, yeah, no, it's a lake. He was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You can't see what's at the bottom of the water. He's like, anything could have popped up there, eaten you, bit you. You don't know. He gets so serious about not being in clear water. And so then he was like, if you take this relationship seriously, you will never go into water that you cannot see the bottom of again. I was like, what?
I feel him 100%. That's one thing that I won't do. I wouldn't do it.
It was so much fun though.
Well, I mean,
after I got my ass beat and ran through a flock of geese, it was great when I got to the end.
I mean, I guess one thing about it is if you were going to get eaten, I mean, you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it was coming. It would be on you before you would even know it. So I guess sometimes maybe ignorance is bliss in situations like that. Ignorance is bliss. Now, I remember, was it last year? When did we go to Comeadows?
2018.
Was it 18? What's the last one that we went to?
We went to 2018 and 2019.
Okay, so 2019, when we did the cemetery ritual.
Yeah, that was in 19.
Okay, so Comeadows had this conjure, I want to say fete, but that's not what he called it.
It was a hoodoo queen conjure fete.
Okay, so he had this thing where we did a graveyard ritual where we kind of went out and we had these white candles and we went to graves that we were drawn to. It was an old slave graveyard. One of the oldest, I think, in Alabama, right?
Africa town.
Right. So we went in there and we did this ritual and you put this little candle on a tombstone and you prayed over the person or whatever. And I was kind of like, what if they don't want the prayers or whatever? But we did that. And then we ended up, he said, now take time and walk to the graveyard wherever you feel drawn to. So I go to this tree and at the edge of it is these woods. And I kept hearing something say, come here. And I was like looking around and it was a male voice and it was mostly female. So I was like, okay, where is this voice coming from? So I sat there because I thought I was tripping and I heard it say again, come here, come here. It wanted me to go deeper into the woods. So like the tombstone stopped at a certain point and beyond it was woods. And I was like, hell to the nah. I don't know what was calling me, what was talking to me, but I was like, nah, whatever we gonna do, we need to do right here in this space where other people are around. But it literally and the breeze started blowing, like the trees it was just weird. But it was one of those things where it was like, okay, I don't see it. I don't know what's going on. I'm not going in that direction.
There were a lot of spirits in that cemetery. You remember the picture? Even in the picture, it showed the spirits in the picture.
Yeah. I remember he said before we even saw the pictures, he said, I see something blue around you, standing around you. And I felt something, but I couldn't see it. Well, when they took the picture, on the side of me is this blue figure. And it was like, okay, what the shit? Because it was definitely an apparition. Now, I don't know if it was the same one that was asking me to go in the woods, but I was like, nah. Look at me like I'm on a date. Whatever we gonna do, we can do here. I don't need to go no further. I keep thinking about ID channel. They say when they get you to go to a second destination, they're gonna kill you. So the first one is where you need to stay. If you're gonna get me, you're gonna get me in that spot. I ain't walking in the woods. But it reminds me of like the water, not knowing what's there. I don't like things that I can't see through. You know, things like that bother me. What, Voodoo?
Oh, I thought that was Sophie.
No, I think she muted herself. Voodoo coming out. You looking for your brother? You looking for your brother? Have you ever had that happen to you, Lynna, where you seen apparitions or you made those connections?
Yeah, when I was a teenager, I remember talking to somebody that had just passed over because I was going through some shit. And I could actually feel her hand touch me on my leg.
Wow.
You could feel it, like where, you know, all five, you could feel the fingers. I mean, it was like a hand touching you. And you know, and I've seen a lot of spirits though, especially driving at night. If you go the back way up to like Cleveland and Livingston, if you take 146, go through Liberty, Dayton, all that, and then that back road, come out in the backside of Livingston, that road has a lot of spirits. And not, there's a lot of animals on that road too, but there's humans on that road as well. And they're just, some are standing in the middle of the road, but a lot of them are standing on the side of the road. So I think there's been a lot of death on that road.
Wow. Huh. I've been back there before, but I don't think at night. I can't really say that I've driven it at night because it's really dark back there.
And I see
that
in your house.
Yeah, that's true.
I see a lot of spirits, but sometimes I don't. You know, sometimes it's like there's a block up where other people, but I see stuff all the time. It's weird. I'll be sitting by a window and I'll see something go by. And it's like, do you see that? See what? People think I'm nuts, but I swear to God, I saw something. Somebody just walked past that window.
No, I think it's been happening a lot lately, really with this year. Like I've literally had days where it's like I see death everywhere. Like I can look at patterns and see people's faces and know that they're not here anymore. And it was kind of bothering me. It was like, just one of those things where it's like, okay, I need to pull back. I need to go look at TV. I've been looking at the same series this whole quarantine because it seems to be the only thing that's grounding me right now. It's not, it's just mindless entertainment. But there's no murder, there's no drama, there's nothing that literally upsets me. And I need it. I need it because—
What series?
It's Murdoch Mysteries. It's a really old-timey mystery show. But it's something, and Jordan, I think my son was like, how many times are you going to start the series over? How many times are you going to start it over? But it literally seems to be the only thing that is grounding me through this whole process.
I've already watched all the Christmas movies over again. I type in Christmas. I type in all kinds of stuff. I've seen everything. I don't even know what to watch anymore.
I'm watching anime, Seven Deadly Sins and Perry Mason, because they have a new Perry Mason out.
Now,
Really?
I did just
on
finish
HBO.
I need to check that out. I love Perry Mason.
I just finished watching Outlander, but it only went 3 seasons on Netflix, and apparently they're on season 6. So I had to go buy the books.
No, just if you go, because I think it's on Stars right now. Stars is having that special where you get 3 months for $15.
I don't even own a TV. I don't watch TV.
Yeah, but you can do it online. It's Stars to Go or whatever.
Yeah.
And you pay $15 and then you just watch it all. Just binge watch it.
But is it like Netflix or is it like Hulu? Because I don't like Hulu.
It's stars. It's like, you know how HBO has HBO Go?
Mm-hmm.
Look,
I don't know
Nika can get you a stars login.
Okay.
Yeah, Nika's like, look, I can hook you up. Nika says she looking at Family Guy, which I mean, I get. I think there's so many of us that are sensitive that we need something that literally is going to take us out the energy where you just kind of get lost in something, just mindless,
Christmas movie.
so that you can relax.
Does it ever sometimes frighten you guys? Like when you're like, okay, you know the spirits in your house and you wake up and then, or you see something, you're like, you're not supposed to be in my house. Does it make your heart jump at all? Because like, I'd be like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen any in this house, but I did see spirits in the house on Webster, and they wouldn't let me sleep because they would be running up and down the hall. But Taylor, my daughter, had a little friend, a little pug that she played with. And so I couldn't tell her little friend to leave but there were other, most of the time I found that if you tell them to leave, they leave. You're not welcome.
Not always.
They've always done it for me, but I never made the little pup guy leave.
I think it depends on how you say it and what the situation is. Because if you're moving into a house where they don't know they're dead, and they like, because
I got pissed off at my neighbors. Tonya knows about it. The ones that moved in next door and raised the ground up and then would make my house flood. When they were building the house, I did some stuff and I didn't cast circle, and I invited all the little astral nasties to come in, and everybody was welcome who wanted to, because I was pissed and I wanted all the nasty things to come in. And one of them had come over into my house, and so I had to let them know, you're not welcome here. You need to get the fuck back over there.
So Occoquan, Virginia is one of the most haunted towns in our area. It's like 20 minutes away from me on a good day. And they have a mansion there. And it's been in this guy's family forever. That's the first time something actually followed me home. Remember, Tanya, because I was like, there's something in my house, and I was so drained and tired, and I was like, I know this is a man. And so I was like, just tell me if I'm crazy. Maybe I need to go to the doctor. And it was like, what, 2 years ago? And she's like, it's a man. I was like, then I had to be like, look, I understand you're not here to cause me issues, but you're draining me. You got to go home. You have to go back to where you came from. But what I discovered was there's a store there called 13 Magical Moons. And it used to be across the street. But then the guy turned the mansion into like a vendor place. So they're now over in the mansion. Mm-hmm. But what happened was the mansion is really haunted. So he had someone come in to cleanse the mansion. And the people from 13 Magical Moons, I felt like something just flew past my head. I'm like, Lordy. 13 Magical Moons, they heard that he was cleansing the mansion. They were like, well, where are all these ghosts supposed to go? I'm like, well, they're sending them on, if possible, but they're not supposed to stay there. This is now going to be a different place. And the store owners went to the house and told the ghosts what were about to happen and invited them over to her place until the exorcism was done or whatever. And then she said, when it's done, then you guys can go back. And that's exactly what happened.
I never really, to be honest, that where they go when you tell them to leave, because it doesn't matter as long as they're not there anymore.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. They were like, well, where are the ghosts going to go? I was like, well, in the end, I mean, because his mother and his grandmother are two of the ghosts there. And so the mother will like start running the tub out of nowhere, and the grandmother will play the piano.
No, I think that it kind of becomes a selfish thing at that point. Would I love to have my grandmother still here and around me, consistently? Yeah, she comes to visit, she goes. I couldn't imagine not helping her cross over or transition so she can go on her own. I think people because I hear so many times about people, I want to bind this person or bind the spirit. And in the voodoo, you see that a lot, where people will die and they will go ahead and try to bind their spirits to a doll to make them still work in death. And I think that's just, I just don't feel comfortable with that. Let me go when it's my time to go, you know. But you have some people that don't want to do that.
They'll still come back and work for you. You don't have to imprison them.
That's true. And I think really that's free will. To me, it's especially if it's an ancestor, holding down or binding an ancestor, to me is just wrong. You know, you're going to have that support regardless. But some people, and I saw this on a show where it was almost what you were saying, Shishi, where this woman that had a medium come in and she was like, these people need to go. They don't want to be bound here. They're lost. They want to go home. They want to be with their other loved ones who crossed over. And the woman had some type of business that was haunted, and she didn't want to let them go because she was going to lose the money. So she was binding them there so that they could work for her, so that people would come in and see the ghost. And I kept going, Lord, and she had so many medical problems. And I was like, yeah, they fucking you up. They pissed.
How is that?
They're pissed.
Slavery.
It is. You're making them stay.
Pretty much. I mean, I don't think I've ever had a desire where I'm like, okay, you have to stay with me. They're my guides. They're there with me when they want to be there with me. But I also feel like, you know, like my ancestors, my guides are always welcome. But I didn't say other spirits could come in. So when there's another spirit there, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. And it's annoying because it's kind of jarring, because you know what your spirits look like, and then you have something that's not there. So it's like a real stranger being in your house, and you're just like, you know, it's kind of frightening.
I did that one time on a live where I was reading for somebody's mom, and she
that one, yeah.
And she didn't want to go. She didn't want to go. And I'm in here ringing the bell and clapping. And it's like, okay, come on, you know, go. We got the bell. You hear the bell ring, you know, go. And she did not want to leave. I was like, look, you know, you can go visit her. You can go be with her, but you don't need to stay here with me. But for some reason, she stayed for 2 days. 2 days, and it's just unnerving to be sleeping in your bed and you feel like something is standing over you, just looking at you. Like, what do you want to talk about? What? You know, it was just weird.
I think that's why I'm really happy with my cats. And Oliver's like, you know, because he's allergic. And he's talking about that we have to have separate space for the cats and him not to die, whatever. And sometimes I'm like, look, they protect my whole sleep method and everything there by my head. I'm like, you might just have to die. That's so wrong for me to think that. Like, you might just have to go. Because when people don't have cats, or they don't understand the energy that cats take off, or the protection that they give to you, because cats will sleep. Sometimes they're sleeping both by my head, but usually one's by my head and one's by my foot, because they're doing a whole body protection.
Mm-hmm.
And some people don't get that. So when cats knows when a spirit or something is in your house that's not supposed to be there, you can tell by your cats. Mm-hmm. Especially cats. I'm sure dogs can too, but cats especially, because they're extra sensitive, and they will sleep by your head to protect your head, to make sure something's not going in that's not supposed to be there.
No, it's true. I didn't see that until voodoo, because I haven't had a cat in years. But I remember I was doing service, and I finished service, and I was in my room, and Voodoo got off the bed, and he just looked at the altar. And then he kind of turned his head, and then he looked up, and he looked back down, and then he came in my room and sat right on my lap. So 100% he could see spirit. Now Yoda would come in and sit by me too and just look, but Voodoo was like, no, I'm tracking him. He didn't, wherever his head turned, he was looking. And when they moved towards me, he came and sat on me. So absolutely. Absolutely.
But I'm like, you know, that kind of makes me a little nervous not to have my cats in my house, because that's my protective field when I'm sleeping. And so he's like, you'll be fine. I'm like,
Sophie ain't gonna go for that.
Oh, Sophie and him don't get along, and I'm hoping something happens. I'm hoping he, you know, loses his allergy, and him and Sophie get along. I don't know. big wishes. But
Benadryl, he'll be okay. Tell him Papa Benadryl, you'll be fine.
you know what he did, and it was still bad. Actually, I've not seen anyone allergic to cats like he is.
Oh wow.
He may need to get a shot.
Yeah,
He's
there
like,
is a shot.
exactly. He's like, I don't want my whole life to be built up on chemicals. I'm like, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, to me, it wouldn't be major, but you know, it just depends.
I've
It
only
depends.
had allergies once, and it was the most miserable damn day of my life. So I can't imagine having it all the time.
Yeah, especially with cat dander. I mean, it could be really hard. You know.
But I bought some shampoo that's supposed to remove the cat dander, which helps people with allergies. So I'm gonna test that out first and see how it works on him and be like, is it really that serious? You'll be
I hope so, because Sophie is not going to take being away from you, even if you create a separate space.
fine.
They're
Yeah.
used to protecting you and watching over you, and they're going to figure out a way. Cats are very, they're smart. They're going to figure out a way.
Yeah, he hasn't yet figured that out. I don't think he understands it. But with like all
Well,
the haunting stuff we're talking about, right? I have a question for you guys. Because we talk about, spirits being attached to the land. Like, you said when they were building their house and you invited all the nasties in and stuff. How do you guys feel? Would you rather build a house on land that you purchased, or would you rather buy the house as it is? Because either which way, I feel like you might get some spirits no matter what, because there's spirits on the land, but then there's also spirits already in the house that's on the land. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think it depends on the situation. If I had the money and if I had the time to wait for the house to be built, I might want to build my own house the way I wanted to. But if I didn't have the time to wait for a house to be built and needed a place to move in immediately, then I'd buy another house that was already built. Because
Yeah, but your preference when you're talking about like, spirits, like, do you want to take spirits already, attached with a house, or would you rather try to just build your own and minimize whatever?
I like I don't think it would bother me to buy. I like the older houses. They're built better than new houses, to be honest. And if there's spirits in there, I really believe that I could get rid of them if I needed to. If I wanted to.
Tanya?
And if it didn't, get insurance and burn the bitch down. Pray for her.
So if she ever has a house burned down, guys, y'all got to strip this whole conversation. Y'all got to strip it. You never heard anything. Never heard anything. I don't, you know what? Because I come with voodoo spirits, I have 7 altars. So I understand the residual energy that's going to be left behind from somebody who moves into this house because of the spirits that I work with and what I do. So I think literally an older house wouldn't bother me. If it had everything that I needed to do my rooms, my altar, the only reason that I think I would even think about building, because I keep having a dream about building a house, is because I want altar rooms that will work. Now, I do feel like, because with Earth, I think, and I've seen so many shows where people are so disrespectful to the spirits of a land.
Mm-hmm.
When you are about to build a house, you need to go walk that land. You need to commune with the spirits there. You need to understand what you feel. And then too, I feel like there needs to be some type of, I've seen people have very disastrous results with building on land because they're not working with the spirits.
Yeah.
People automatically assume I'm going to come push you off. I mean, North Carolina, South Carolina, there's so many, the land is cursed. It's cursed. So if you literally put this mansion on it, it's a cursed mansion to me. So
why do you say that they're cursed?
Because there's so, first of all, I think because of so much death, I feel like that there's certain, especially with the Geechee people, I feel like with land being taken away from them, they curse some of their land so that people cannot live on it. I do feel that, but I feel like every time I read for somebody there, they're like, it's not working for me. I'm not progressing. It's so many people that literally are there that feel like they're not having something that's moving forward. They feel stagnant. The energy is off. And whenever you go places, you can feel that in the land. You can. I always tell people where I travel, and I travel a lot, or used to. COVID has really messed me up. You can feel things. In New Orleans, when I go, there's always spirits that brush my feet. It's like cold air. They go across my feet, in between my legs, and it's kind of like we here. I always try to keep my head wrapped there because of attachments. But there's certain places that you go and you walk on certain land, certain property, you feel these spirits. You feel the pain. You feel, you know, things that happen there. And so I don't think you can put a really beautiful house on something that is tarnished until you cleanse it and make peace with it.
And talk to the spirits of the land first before you clear it off. I mean, and it's more than just human spirits. You have to talk to the nature spirits.
Oh God, yeah, elementals and things like that. I mean, really, people don't know too. If you buy a house, the house comes with a house spirit.
Mm-hmm. In the yard.
Apartments too. So it does a dwelling.
But you can also give your house a spirit of its own too.
You could, absolutely. Absolutely. I like older homes, and I think there have been times when I've looked at houses where I walked into houses and I'm like, nah, no amount of cleansing, no amount of praying is gonna help this situation out. It's a bad energy. And then there's been places where I walked into, and it's just like, man, this is beautiful. It feels good. So the energy attachments are strong. They are. Now, what about you? Because I know you're purchasing land to build
Ollie
on.
has purchased land in Birchweiler. So we're around like a lot of nature. It's not a city dwelling. He doesn't want that. But he made sure it's close enough that I could get to a city dwelling, because that was the deal. The land looks really nice. I haven't had a chance to walk it. I think I'm 50-50, right? Because if something bad happened on the land, like with the Geechee people, or like if somebody was buried there, you know, because some people will move gravestones, but not the actual graves, things like that, which happened a lot on much of American soil, then you're stuck with a whole bunch of spirits that are at unrest. And they feel like when you build something, that's their dwelling.
Now, did he buy land here or over there?
Over there. It's in Birchweiler.
Well, what about like the mass graves, Nazi stuff and stuff?
That's not there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not there.
Near that.
Yeah, no, that's not there. Thank goodness. But also to take on, like, if I wanted to get an old house, I think it depends on who owns that old house. Because, you know, many people buy a house from somebody who may be, like, you, as a Black person, I wouldn't buy a plantation.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the anger, the unrest there. And some people do. They're like, we bought this plantation home. It was great. And I'm like, that just doesn't seem great, because the pain, you're going to feel the pain. I think, you know, there were certain cases where the house owner, you know, didn't like a certain type of people, and then you move in and you find out, you know, maybe the past house owner was uber Christian and religious, and then you're a witch. You're gonna have unrest in that house. So I think it depends. I always want to know who was there before.
No, it makes sense, because it will affect you one way or the other. It will affect you if you're dealing in a house where spirits don't want you. Just like you were talking about that mansion, that house, Nicolas Cage had it. You know, if the spirits don't want you there, they're going to make it unbearable. And a lot of people end up losing major money because they don't research and they don't do rituals. They don't do cleansing. They go into something and then they have all these issues with spirit. So, I mean, no, I cleanse anything before we move in. Me and Jazz, before we even put a piece of furniture in this house, walked through it, cleansed it, prayed over it, anointed it, and warded it before anything came in. But we get so many people, you know, that don't think that way.
Who was that Rockets basketball player that bought the West Mansion out here? You know, the West Mansion on NASA Parkway?
I know the mansion. I can't remember who the basketball player was.
He bought the mansion, bought West Mansion, and he made it into a store to sell his merchandise. And it never went anywhere. He tore that mansion down. He had the whole thing just destroyed because he couldn't, it wouldn't work for him.
So why didn't he just sell it?
I know, right? It was beautiful too. And the people in the town tried to stop him, but I guess the historical certificate had expired 2 years prior. And so they couldn't stop him from destroying it. But it's gone. The whole
sad.
Leveled. It's gone. She froze again, I think.
Yeah, she did.
She looked like Miss Cleo frozen like that.
She looks like she's really thinking hard about like,
She's trying to figure out who it was.
I know, and it's frozen right there on her face. Right there. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I mean, there are some beautiful older houses. There really are. I'm curious, okay, what happened here? You know, who owned it before? And that's difficult to find too, because
I go back and look. Because you can look up who owned a house, when it was built, how much they paid for it, how much they sold it for, all that. Even if it's been option pending and then put back on the market, you can find out all that stuff. So it's like you see a house and it's gone into option pending 3 times and it's still on the market. Why? You know.
Oh.
But I did.
And that's a big sign. That's a big sign. Like, how quickly does that house rotate? Like, why is it rotating that way? I think the other thing too
is why isn't it bought? It's going into option pending, but it's never being sold. Why? Right. I did, but Tonya told you last time. I'll dig into stuff. I'm so nosy. I want to know.
I don't blame you. I often was like, oh, I want to buy a house. And then I was like, I don't know if I really want to buy a house because I'm too nosy. And I'm not one of those people that wants to put all my money into a house. So you see often like people will buy these houses, they sink all their savings and everything into it. And then the shit's crazy there and they can't get rid of it.
I don't want to buy a house in Galveston because of the hurricane in 1901. 1901 or 1900, one of those years. Anyway, it killed so many people. They were hauling bodies out in wagons. There were bodies that were never found. I mean, it was just awful.
That's horrible.
Look up the hurricane in 1900.
So hurricane in 1900, Galveston, Texas, and Lake Lanier. Because I'm like, these are places I have never heard of.
The LaLaurie. Oh, you know about LaLaurie.
Yeah, I know about that one.
But yeah,
I did a school project on that actually.
But the hurricane in 1900, and so I don't really know if I really. And there's been a lot of hurricanes, a lot of death in Galveston.
I wouldn't even think Galveston would have hurricanes.
All the time. Well, I say all the time, but you know, quite often. And I destroyed it again. I mean, even the trees, everything was just dead for a long time, a very long time, because the salt water came in and just killed all the plant life. Everything on the whole island was dead. Homes destroyed. There were homes that were catching fire in the middle of in the rain. While all the stuff. I have a video. I'll send you a link.
Yeah, that's so sad.
Hurricane Ike. I don't remember my login on that channel, but I can send you the link to the video.
I wonder often, you know, like with all the fires in California and all that land burning, because it's been burning for a long time.
And it's always the same land.
And I'm like, what is going on there?
Yep, it's always the same land. I saw.
I mean, it's still burning, isn't it? It's still burning.
I know when I went up there in March, it was still black. And now it's burning again. Same place. Start over. So, but girl, it's almost 10 o'clock.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat my food that was delivered.
So think about the slumber party. You guys, you know, the guests, y'all think about doing a slumber party too. I think it would be fun. I won't draw any
It would be
people,
fun.
I promise.
Well, I mean, set the day. Set the day and let's do it.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
Night. Talk to you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.